Exercise and physical activity actually can play a crucial role in how you feel about yourself and your life and your mental health too. And joining us to share more about the impact of exercise and mental health, Dr. Rob Robinson, Clinical Director of Family Care Counseling, that's in Wilbraham. A lot of people don't understand that. You know, they think you get buff when you do exercise, but you also get buff up here.
Yeah, I mean, one of the most important things that people can do for their mental health and their brain health is to get their heart rate up and exercise regularly. You know, we all know that, and we all think about exercise impacting the body actually more so than the brain, but the impact on the brain, especially as people get older, is absolutely essential that they get their heart rate up and exercise regularly for their mental health.
And you have a bunch of great reasons, and the first one deals a little scientific. It deals with a chemical called serotonin.
Right. Yes, you know, serotonin is linked to mental health from the standpoint that if there's not enough serotonin in your brain, then there's a higher chance of experiencing depression. And so, you know, some of the antidepressant medications work at helping make more serotonin available for your brain. But one of the ways that we can produce serotonin naturally is through repetitive physical movement. So every time someone works out, you know, gets on a treadmill or goes out walking and has this experience of repetitive physical movement, they're producing serotonin. So they're actually producing a neurochemical that fights against depression. So it becomes essential. And the same thing happens for any person, but kids especially. You know, if you're moving around, if you're exercising and exercising regularly, it produces dopamine, which is a neurochemical that helps people focus and pay attention to things. So in a sense, exercise is like a psychiatrist's dream treatment. It puts a little bit of, you know, it's like taking a little bit of Prozac and a little bit of Ritalin and having it go exactly where it needs to go in the brain when you need it. So it's essential that people understand that it has a positive effect on the neurochemistry.
I think that's why, in some ways, during the wintertime, when people like me stay inside, don't want to do much, we get into that winter funk, and it probably has a lot to do with the lack of exercise.
No question. I mean, you know, seasonal affective disorder is usually a condition that's affected by the light, because the hypothalamus is sensitive to light. But you're right. I mean, we get into this kind of hibernative kind of state in the winter, and people actually do less. But you know, getting out there and walking, and a little bit helps. If you can do more, that's great. But exercise and movement really will help people feel more attentive, concentrate better, improves your memory, decreases depression, and works well with anxiety.
It also helps memory. Let's talk about that too. What's the link between exercise and memory?
Well, you know, if a great book was written by John Rady a few years ago. It's called Spark, and this guy's a medical doctor from Harvard, and he wrote a book about how the exercise actually works at producing chemistry that impacts memory and a person's ability to learn. So that if you begin to exercise regularly, your ability to be able to be creative and think and problem solve is enhanced tremendously. In fact, in his book, he speaks about the Naperville, Illinois school district out in Naperville, Illinois, and in their PE program, the kids go to gym and they have a heart monitor strapped to their arm. And in the hour that they're in gym, they have to get their heart rate up to a level for their height and weight, and then they make recordings of this with the phys ed instructor. And the interesting thing is in Naperville, Illinois, the school district, in worldwide TIMSS test on math and reading, their school district performed number 4 in reading and number 1 in math or science, just as a result of having this PE program that's essentially encouraging the kids to get their heart rate up and improve their brain chemistry. And the kids that get in high school, and they can actually schedule their tougher classes after their gym class, so their brain is actually primed to do the work.
Good idea. Yeah. Maybe, I guess, if I have a tough work project to do or something, maybe I'll go run around a little bit and then tackle that work project.
You know, it's absolutely true. In John Rady's book, he talks about the future of this brain gym, where people will be able to get up in the morning and kind of program in what they're going to be doing during their day. And this brain gym thing actually creates these smells and sounds and exercise program and things that will actually prime your brain to get ready for the day, and exercise is a huge part of that.
I think before Mass Appeal, I'm going to start doing some push-ups. Might help me out a little bit.
Actually, you know, and that's a great question though, Seth, or a great point, because, you know, kids, they spend tons of time watching television, and it's the exact opposite of thing you want to do before you do your homework. Doing jumping jacks and push-ups and running around before you do homework will essentially improve your performance.
I hope no one minds if I get a little bit sweaty. Lastly, I'm sure a lot of people out there, they're hearing this, they're saying, well, son of a gun, spring's coming, I'm going to get out, I'm going to do some exercise. And you have some great tips on helping to start an exercise program.
I mean, the first thing, and this is essential, if you haven't worked out in a while and you haven't exercised, it's a really good idea to check with your doctor to make sure that everything's cool. Every year you see at like for example, at the Holyoke St. Patrick's Day Parade, where people who don't run or don't exercise go out there and they start running the 6.2 mile road race, and they're having trouble.
Yeah.
So get clearance from your doctor if you haven't done it. It's good to work out with somebody. Meet somebody at the gym. Arrange to do it with a friend, because once you make a commitment to somebody else, it's hard to kind of skip out of it.
That's true.
And it's much better in terms of motivating yourself to do it with someone else. And a lot of people, if they add music or listening to some music in their headphones while they're walking, it kind of breaks it down, and you're not concentrating so much about the time, and you gradually begin to start feeling the whole process strengthening. It helps your sleep, it helps with depression, and the single most important thing I want to try to get patients to do when they're experiencing depression is get out there and start to move. Just walk around, improve your brain chemistry, and feel great.
I'm really happy we got to talk about this. I think it's really important, especially this time of year when everyone's hunkered down and feeling that winter funk. Thank you so much for stopping by today.
Thank you.
Don't make yourself a stranger. It's always a pleasure to have you here. And up next,